Okay, so hello everyone. We're live today at HQ Leuven. I'm Tatjana de Wee, the community manager of i.materialise. I welcome you all to this first API Hangout with Wim Verstraeten. He will tell you a little bit more about the i.materialise API and what you can do with it to facilitate your business. So Wim, go ahead.
All right, thank you, Tatiana. I hope you all can see my screen. At this very moment, I'm showing a PowerPoint presentation, and I will show you in the next couple of minutes, let's say more like 35 minutes, all about i.materialise API. Let's first start with the movie we have created for you. As a teaser, you're the first one to see this movie, so congratulations. I hope you enjoy it. It's a very short one, just as a kind of brief introduction. All right, I hope you enjoyed the movie. So let's continue with the presentation. In the next presentation, I will be talking about who I am. I hope that you know who you are, but I'll certainly mention for which audience this meeting has been set up, this Hangout meeting. Then some more words about i.materialise, and then we start doing more talking about the API and all the different business setup types we have, and then we go more into detail. And at the end, questions and answers, although I'm not sure, because it's my first Hangout, whether that is going to be easy to do when we're live on air. I don't know. Tatiana, do you know that? Whether we can have questions and answers immediately? After that, well, we'll see. Let's first start with the presentation and say who is actually talking to you. So I'm Wim Verstraeten. I started here at i.materialise as a developer in 1999. Being a developer, I am a bit handicapped in my graphical skills, as you will see during the presentation, but it's all about the content at this very moment. So please forgive me if it doesn't look as professional as and sleek as the regular presentations you are used to. I started in i.materialise as with creating a tool for communicating about 3D models, because at that time the bandwidth was not that cheap as currently, and I upgraded that communicator tool to our first web-based online-based 3D print service. At that days it was called Next Day. We actually had our first 3D print service in 1997, but in 2000 we started off with the Next Day web page base. So we have a pretty long history in 3D printing services online. And then I started with 3 other people. i.materialise in 2009, bringing up the site to what you are currently seeing. Okay, all about me. What about you? If you're looking at this Hangout, I hope you are a 3D printing enthusiast. Then you have a website or an application that is able to generate or modify or even contain 3D model files at this very moment. So we are actually targeting people who having this kind of app or website. And you want to have to set up a business for 3D printing, or you just want to offer the possibility for 3D printing on your app or website. And of course, you need to have some knowledge about the web services or APIs, or you know someone that masters it and can help you out with it. So this presentation is for people who are in one or more points saying yes to those things that you currently see online. If you want to connect to our API, of course, you need to know which company you're connecting to. i.materialise is a 3D printing online service with a community, a live community with a lot of designers talking to each other, and it also is also being a marketplace for creative people. We're having a gallery and a shop. Everyone that prints a model at our site can also offers it for sale to other customers. So that is in brief what i.materialise is currently as a site. But Materialise is part of a bigger company called i.materialise is part of a bigger company called Materialise, and Materialise having different business units, and one of them is targeting the professional market, where what they call it additive manufacturing services, which is of course 3D printing, but on professional machines, which i.materialise is of course also using. We are sharing those machines with the professional market, but of course at a favorable price for you. So the professional market is being using Materialise since the beginning in 1990, and together with our software team, we grow Materialise to the company it currently is, with more than 900 employees worldwide. The additive manufacturing software is a software team that is providing, amongst others, the printing or the software for professional machines. So most of the machines that are currently running on the market have materialized software running on it. We also have applications in the medical section where we are using our 3D prints for helping people getting their better life and helping them out in getting a healthier world. And of course, the most interesting section of Materialise is MGX and i.materialise, which is focusing to the arts and to the consumer market, which is of course the most fun part of the Materialise group. It's of course not about i.materialise, because i.materialise on its own, it's just an empty box. We need designers, and we need also nice things to print out. We don't design files ourselves. We leave that up to you or to your customers. They can do magnificent things with 3D models, and of course i.materialise is nothing without you. So next to the machines, we are also having a lot of materials that we offer online. Here you just see the periodic table of materials. It just shows you that we have about 17 different materials. Each of those materials have different finishes, at least 2 or 3 finishes. That brings the range of different possibilities for your customers up to a decent amount of combinations. If you look at the materials here in picture, so each sample kit you see here is printed in the material that is being put under as a name under the picture. So you have all those things you currently see are also available for sale on our website. So that you don't need to, of course, print your models out in all different materials if you want some pictures to show it on your website and show your customers what you can do. Okay, we also, as you can see, we have different printing sizes available for all those different materials. And if you here look on this fellow, it's life size. You see that our SLA box is a very big box of about 2 meters, 2.1 meters long. We could print humans on those machines. Like I said, these machines are used by i.materialise, but also by the professional market. and you also have other bounding printing boxes for ceramics, multicolor, and our metals, which are also having a decent size, as you can see. Right, so this is so far all about the introduction of who Materialise and i.materialise is, and now we can go into the more interesting part for you probably, which is the API. I will be talking about what an API is. Most of the people that are currently listening know what it is, but let me just give a brief introduction to it. So API is an abbreviation for Application Programming Interface. It's actually a language that allows computers to talk to each other. So as humans can talk to each other in a specific language, computer programs can do that too. And that's what an API allows them to do. We have something what is called a public API. There it's a bit different because it will be not computers talking to each other, but it's actually you're talking to a web service. So our API is a public API where we will offer you a kind of dictionary to talk to our web service. A dictionary means that you cannot ask everything. It's like you going to a restaurant with your small, going to a restaurant in a foreign country in a language that you don't master. You have your small book with you. You go to you sit on a table. A waiter comes to you, and then you open your book and you say, for instance, "Menu пожалуйста." Of course, that if this guy is Russian and he can understand it, then he go and fetch you the menu. If you say something else, this guy will not do anything and just stand there. So you need to know exactly what to say to the waiter, otherwise he will not move and give you errors, let's say. A better understanding of what an API is let's say, a function in Excel. It's not really an API, but it shows you also in another way what an API can do. So if you look at the PMT function in Excel, if you have a loan, it calculates how much you monthly have to pay to the bank as a fixed amount if you loan a specific amount of money at a certain interest rate for a specific period of time. So you need to know exactly how this function what to fill in as arguments in your functions, otherwise you will not get a decent answer. So the function is some kind of API interface. You say to Excel, please calculate this for me. You don't know what this Excel is actually doing, you just hope that the calculation is correct. So this is in brief what some explanation of to allow you to understand what an API actually does for you. Right, what is the goal of our i.materialise API? So let's bring it into practice. So at this very moment, we have our website called i.materialise.com, and users connect to our site using their browser. So they go to the browser and they type in a lot of stuff, and then they place the order of. So they upload their model, they select the materials, and then finally they order, and then we will ship the models to you, well, to the customer. Suppose that you are having, like I said in the beginning, an app or you have a website, and you offer that to your customers. So your customers are actually downloading, for instance, your app on their tablet, and this application generates a model. This model is being sent to your server, and this server will be communicating with our server. So actually your server is talking to our backend system without you not interacting anymore in between your customer and the order placement. So in the end, like the movie says, you can go elsewhere. You just leave the server alone. You can enjoy your holidays on an exotic beach, while we are actually processing the orders for you and forwarding the agreed money to your bank account. All right, this is in brief what the difference is between our regular access through the site and the access over the API. As an example, we have SkimLab that is connecting to us, and I'll try to see whether this is, I can show it here online. Let me see. Looking at Tatiana. Tatiana, can you see this too? All right. So I can log in, and you see one of my creations here. This is my favorite. And I say View, and you will see also here that there is a 3D print option. If I press 3D print option, what will be happening is, I have to press it again. What will be happening is it was uploaded to i.materialise instantaneously, and at this very moment it's at our server. And if I press the 3D print option, then SkimLab is forwarding me to the site where I can see indeed my chicken or something, or turkey, or what is it? I'm not very good in creative stuff. Remember, I'm a developer. And then you see immediately your price. Okay, that's actually one of the setup types, that business setup types you can use with i.materialise using the API. So there is no one in SkimLab actually pressing a button to forward the model to us. So it's all done automatically. All right. Let's go to different business setup types that we are currently foreseeing. The first business type, let's call Amanda. It's a person. It will allow you to more easily link Amanda to the business type. What I also call this business type is the extension setup business type. So, okay, for the mindset. Thank you, Tatiana. For the mindset, this is Amanda. It's not really Amanda, of course. It's a picture I found on the internet. And just Amanda, suppose that Amanda created a 3D morphing application. It's a very nice application where you upload two models and it allows you to morph between those two models any kind of shape. So Amanda is really focusing on that. It's her life to do that. She's living to make it work, and she actually makes her money by selling that application to different customers. So she wants to extend her application by offering here a 3D print service. So as a byproduct of their application, says, oh, it's okay that I add here a 3D printing service, but I don't want to bother about the 3D printing activity myself. So let's just forward those models to you like you just saw in SkimLab, and yeah, I'll just get the commission on each sale, and then let me focus on my application, and you focus on what you do best, which is a 3D printing activity. So this is Amanda, and Amanda is of course also saying that it's being forwarded to i.materialise because the customer that is using the application will be ordering at our site. Yeah, that's it. So this is the setup type, which is called the extension setup type, also known Amanda. So let's focus on another person, which is Gregory, or also known the white label setup. This is Gregory. Okay, Gregory has made a website for customizing 3D files for 3D printing. So he made a nice business plan. With it, he attracted investors to invest in his project, and his main target will be making money with the 3D printing business. Of course, if you want to make money, you want maximum control over your business, meaning you want to be able to determine the pricing. Your label or your brand has to be controlled. You want, of course, set up your own customer base, and the payment and customer service will be handled by Gregory himself or his employees. So Gregory is mentioning somewhere i.materialise in background as a production partner. He's not saying to the customer themselves where they are actually printed, but this is Gregory actually. So Gregory is the opposite, more or less, of Amanda. So it's the other spectrum, meaning the other side in the, let's say, business type spectrum. Then we have segment. Segment is the in-between setup. Segment is a segment. Everyone knows segment is a bit schizophrenic, meaning he doesn't actually know what he wants. He has something in between the business type of Amanda and Gregory. He wants to actually earn money with it, but he has some issues with timing or knowing what he wants. So he has some idea, but he doesn't have the time for it right now. But he wants already to start with it. And he, of course, wants to have some control over his business, but he doesn't want to hassle with the customer service. So he want the hassle of the customer service. So he's actually wants to do more of Amanda, but less than Gregory. And for instance, he wanted to show the 3D printlet embedded on his site up to the moment of payment, and then of course i.materialise taking the payment and also the first line customer service. So segment is somewhere in the middle between Amanda and Gregory. Probably you have your own business need setups, business setup needs, sorry. And the question you have to ask, okay, in what category do I fall? Is it either Amanda or more like Gregory? You have to ask yourself the question, do I want to control my customer base completely, or do I want to share it with a 3D printing service called i.materialise? What about your brand? To what extent do you want to keep your brand up to the moment of the 3D print product, or just up to the moment that you transfer the customer to i.materialise? What about checking whether your 3D printing, whether your 3D models are actually 3D printable? Do you want to have some developments for it to make sure that they are? Because the different materials you saw also have different rules that you have to apply to your models in order to make them 3D printable, because not everything can be printed in any material. There are some rules to that. What with the material range you want to offer? Do you keep it into the jewelry and only take metals, or do you offer the full range? And what about informing the customers what you can do with those models and what they can expect from them whenever they choose to 3D print their models? Will you do the complete order handling from the price setting up to the moment of payment, and sometimes refunds or customer complaints handling? And also, what about the order follow-up? Will you be shipping those models to the customers, or do you expect the i.materialise to be shipping those models to the customer? So it's all the things that you have to think about. The more control you want, the more work you have to do. Keep that in mind, and it can be really cumbersome to have the complete control like Gregory. There are a lot of, let's say, obstacles along the way. Not all you can overcome them, but it takes some effort and also some time and certainly some money. So you have to make sure what your investment is you want to spend in your site before starting to before talking to us. We hope to have foreseen a big flexibility between the Amanda type and the Gregory type to allow you to grow from Amanda towards Gregory as we go. So you that to start with a minimal investment and up to a maximum benefit from your site after some time. Okay, what's the i.materialise aim for the APIs? Is we want to offer as much as functionality of our current website as possible through the API. Through the API, I said it's actually a set of APIs, and even we want to offer even more through the API than through our website. Okay, keep that in mind, because it allows you to later on understand where our current goal is and what we currently can offer and what we will be offering later on in future. Remember that we have three types of activities, let's say, of i.materialise. If you look at the marketplace is currently not available for the API. It will be under investigation and being exposed as we go in 2014. The community, we don't know whether there is a benefit for you to draw that into an API or pour that into an API. Of course, the 3D printing online service is currently available in APIs. Like I said, we want to offer all the current functionality of our site into an API. If we look at the 3D print lab functionality, or even actually what you see here is order flow functionality. First of all, our customers go to the 3D print lab to upload a model, then they put it in a cart, then they fill in the shipment info, then they fill in the payment info, and then they order and get the order confirmation. So if you look at all those steps have different functionalities. So 3D Print Lab shows the material, allows to upload files, fixes files, and show a price. The cart allows to add items to the cart, remove items from the cart. We can, of course, in the ship info, we can add shipment address, and we also show the shipment method, meaning UPS, which is, for instance, standard shipping or express shipping. You can also see the price there. In the payment info page, the customer info inserts an invoice address, and it also allows to insert. It's also allowed to insert promotion codes, and after the order, you get an order number, so that you can always refer to that number and look up your number through the site using this order number. So this is the current functionality, which we, of course, tried to pour into different APIs. So on top here, you see all the current APIs that are currently live. On our API page, we only mention the Materials Catalog API and the 3D Print Lab Connection API. So if you didn't contact me before, just know that we currently are having more APIs like direct pricing API, the cart API, cart creation, and cart ordering. And here I made some crosses. So the Materials Catalog API allows you to show materials. The direct pricing API allows you to show the price and also show the shipment cost. 3D printing, it just uploads your file. Cart API, you can just see the crosses. I don't have to tell you. You see that we make some combinations of the functionality and pour that into an API. So let's go into the APIs in detail to see what they all can do, not to the full extent, but at least to the most important features. Before getting connected, you need to request access. We don't give access to our APIs just like that. You need an activated i.materialise account. You need, of course, some kind of application or website or an idea what you are going to do and by what time you're going to do that. A vision on how you see our collaboration, meaning, okay, will you be more like an Amanda type, a Gregory, or a Sigmund type? And then when we've cleared it out, we can provide you with an API code that allows you to connect to our site. It's some kind of key that we allow you to connect to our public web API, but it's not really public. It's public when you have a key. And also you will get from us at least one product type ID. If you have different products that require different handling or different approaches, then you get more product type from us, and our web API can actually detect them and act according to our agreements on how it should be acting to that ID. And how to post a request is you just have to send it to developers@i.materialise.com, and me or one of my colleagues will be contacting you to set you up with the API code and product types ID. Right, let's jump immediately into the Materials Catalog API, which is the easiest one for getting access to. Our Materials Catalog API gives you the overview of our current materials that we offer online in our 3D print lab. So you just need a registered email address, and you find on our API page the link how to actually request an overview, as you see below, of all the different APIs that we are, all the different materials, sorry, that we are currently offering. You see here that it's in an XML language, well, XML layout, let's say. You see here that for each material, like polyamide, a material has a material ID, which you will be needing to posting requests to us. Remember the functionality of Excel, where you need to post the correct arguments to get the correct answer. So for each material, we have each another finish, and each finish has also some properties. You have a minimum and a maximum dimension, a minimum detail, and a wall thickness. You also see whether a 3D print lab price is available and when there is an API price available. It means that you can request over the API a price for it, over the direct pricing API. So the materials catalog is some you can quickly get access to. It just gives you some basic info on all the materials we have. As soon as we add another material, it will be automatically available in the catalog API as well. Also, if we add a new finish, or if we swap an API, sorry, if we swap a finish from offline to online, so for instance that where there is no APIs available, when it becomes available, we put it through. So it's online. You probably don't access the materials catalog API frequently. You just need it once in a while to check whether there is a change. Of course, we inform you whenever there is a change with each release that we do. Then we give the highlights of why we did the release and what's in it for you if you are using our API. The other API is a direct pricing API. The purpose of that API is to give you a price without you needing to having a model or uploading a model to our site. So it's if you want a very fast budget quote, or you just have a customer on your site and you know which size his model will be, you can contact our site by just posting XYZ volume and surface if you are able to retrieve that from your 3D print model. And then we reply to you with a price. What you need for direct pricing is you need an API code and a product ID to have access to that API. What are our typical input fields? Of course, if you need a price, you need XYZ volume and surface. Not all our pricings need all those 5 dimensions. Some of them need only 3, some of them need 4, some of them need all 5. You also have to specify which material and finish. Remember the ID in the material catalog. You have to take that and fill in that ID, and we reply to you with the correct material and finish name and also the price for it. You also have to specify the desired quantity that you would like, because some prices differ. We provide you with a unit price and a total price. Some prices decrease in unit price when the quantity goes up. So it's a very easy API to see how our prices are evolving if you have bigger or smaller models, other materials and other finishes. If you also want, we can also provide you with the shipment info if you fill in the zip code, the country, and sometimes for the states, for instance, also the state. So that's about the direct pricing API. What is the response that you will be getting from if you fill in the requests correctly? We will be echoing your input to make sure that we understood your request correctly. Then you see the total price per model for the requested quantity. If you requested the transport services, we also show you the pricing and the transit time for all the models. Of course, a disclaimer. Why is that? Because it's of course not because you say that your model is 5 by 5 by 5 that we find it 5, that our backend system finds it 5 by 5 by 5. Reason for this is sometimes we have to fix models. If you say that the volume is 0, of course, our server will find another volume. It will warn you that it's going to be different, but at least we're saying the prices are, of course, if your model is having the same dimensions that our backend system detects. So that's why there is a disclaimer. You cannot pinpoint us on the direct pricing. It's just an aid for you to make sure that you have a budget quote. Most of the time, after some moment in time, if you have always uploading the same models and we don't have to fix your models, of course, then the direct pricing will be the same as the final pricing. The 3D PrintLab connection API is actually the oldest API that we are offering, so it certainly has proven his functionality. There, we are uploading the 3D design file to our site. We return you a link to our 3D PrintLab and the 3D, and you have to redirect the customers to that site. Either you return them to an embedded version of our site, like we do for Autodesk, or you just forward it to our regular site, like SkimLab is doing. Recently, we upgraded the 3D PrintLab connection API with extra functionality. So if you're aware of what we can do with a simple connection API, because that was the name before that, but it's not simple anymore, we can certainly send you more information about that. What do you need for the 3D PrintLab connection API? Just your product type ID by which we will label your models, that we can always say that this model belongs to you. So you have been uploading that through your application. So we can always track that model down, you being the owner of it. How your request will look like is you upload the file, or you provide us with a file URL that we can get access, that our server can get access to. You of course have to specify your product type ID, and if you want to preset the material and finish, you can also put that inside your request, and then your customer will see that material and finish as default. The response is like the purpose says. We return you with two URL links that you can show. Well, that will allow you to show the 3D PrintLab. That will allow you to forward. No, so let me go once more. Through the URL. You will be forwarding your customer to the 3D PrintLab, and the 3D PrintLab shows the model you just uploaded to the i.materialise servers. All right, like I said, it's the oldest API we're currently holding, and we also have here a selection of people using that API. The most famous one is Autodesk. Tinkercad is also was one of our first customers, but those examples are growing as we are speaking. But this is the ones that you can find as a reference on our site as well. All right, we are now combining the cart item and cart API. They belong together to be used together. Through the cart and cart item API, we want to create actually a cart and a cart item. Like you do in a real shop, where you insert your cart items, you put them in a cart, and then you push your cart to the checkout, or you redirect your customers to our checkout on our website. So again, you need something, the API code and product ID. You provide us, like in the 3D connection API, you provide us with a file, a product ID, material finish, shipment, invoice, address. You can also specify the price that you want us to show to your customer whenever you redirect him to our site. You can also insert promo codes you get from us. And then the response will be, of course, you will get your model ID, your cart item ID. You will get an echoing of the model parameters. So if you use the cart item API, our backend system, which is StreamX Robot, will be analyzing your models and also provide you with the model parameters he finds. So if you're not able to extract the parameters yourself from a model, you can use the cart item API to retrieve them for you. As you can see, you can also have confirmed prices because then we are sure that well, we certainly are sure of the parameters, and then we can also confirm the prices. Yeah, you can get some URLs from us, and you can also get the shipment options and some mention of shipment service of your choice. You can specify, sometimes if you want, you can specify your delivery note, and there's also a flag that allows us to direct mail your customers. But most of the time, well, by default, the flag is set to false. We respond with the order number and total price. Later on in the follow-up API, you can also see your dedicated delivery time and also your tracking number. Okay, then the question is why do you split up those cart item, cart, and cart ordering API? Why just not say here is my model, order it? Well, this is because of flexibility and control reasons. It gives you some advantages that you can always reuse models you have uploaded before. You can put them in as new cart items in the same cart or as different cart items in a different cart. You can it gives you more control over when something goes wrong. Suppose that you have 5 models to order, and one of them is bad. What do we have to do? Will we accept all orders, or we have to cancel the complete order, or we just throw out the ones that is not good, is giving a problem? So we don't want to make that decisions for you. You're in a better position to make that decision. Okay, it also gives you more control over what business case you want to hold between Amanda up to Gregory. I'll show you that in a moment. But let's first talk about other APIs. Of course, we have managerial APIs, which I call them, that allows you to manage your orders like canceling. And also follow up. You can check your status and order info. You need, of course, you need to know whenever something has been shipped. And we also have some reporting tool for you about the uploads and how many models have been ordered of the uploaded models and how many have been delivered and cancelled, etc. If we look at the API usage per business type, we see that Amanda is not very much using all the different possibilities we are offering. The materials, just a moment. The materials catalog API is possibly being used by Amanda, but not necessarily. The 3D print tab is certainly being used for her, and then if she wants, you can also use the uploading reporting API. If we look at Gregory, he has some more work because he wants more control, remember. Then also he will certainly be using the cart item, cart creation, cart ordering, order cancellation probably, upload reporting probably. And Sigmund, yeah, like I said, he doesn't know actually what he wants. You see also very likely, probably, possibly. So you can see just by having an API and a tool ID, you can go from Amanda to Sigmund over Gregory. Oh no, it's the other way around, from Amanda to Sigmund over Sigmund to Gregory. It's up to you how to decide at which moment you want to use which API. If you then actually want to see how the APIs are compared to our current order flow. We have the 3D Print Connect API, and these are Amanda is actually forwarding her customers to the 3D Print tab. If you use the cart and cart item API, you can forward the customers to the cart or to our shipment info page, but you don't have to do that. You can, like Gregory, just implement cart item, and then go to the cart ordering API, and then check out the cart without actually forwarding your customer to the i.materialise website. All right, we're almost there. Another example is Twikit. Twikit is more like a Gregory type of application. So they are completely in control of all the complete order process. Let me try to open it up for you. So Twikit is here showing what you can do. And somewhere we are mentioned that they print at our site, but it's not on the front page. So here what you can do is you can just type something like Twikit hello, yeah. It makes you a totem, yeah. And then you can go and go over to the checkout. So they have been implementing the checkout completely, so they have their own cart, and in background they are actually filling our cart up. Okay, you need some logins, and then you see everything is done on their side, but Twikit is printing on our site. Twikit is using us for 3D printing of those totems, for instance. Okay. All right. So Twikit has not only totems, but other materials as well. And you also see that there is some extra let's say it's not a footer, it's a stand to it that they provide to us, and that we put those 3D printed model inside that stand and ship that to their customers in their specified boxes. Yeah. So it's also we can also insert their delivery notes if they want. This is also possible because it's part of the white label, but there is also there are also some restrictions to it. So you need to get some minimum amount of foreseen models to ship per month before setting up that system for you. But it's all discussable. But that's also part of the negotiations. Let's say it's not the negotiations, it's actually part of the setup of your business at our i.materialise site. So you need to send an email to developers at i.materialise.com. Yeah, Tatiana, I'm not sure whether we are able to get actually questions. Yeah, I don't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear
you. Okay, yeah. Yeah, well, if people still have questions, they can ask their questions in the event. Let me check if there are any right now. Let me just update. Okay, no, for the moment we don't have questions, so I think you did a very good job, Wim.
All right, if you have questions, please send it either on Facebook or Twitter, and then or just send it to developers at i.materialise.com, and we'll be answering them for you.
Yeah. So just for the record, i.materialise is going to be at the 3D print show in London this week. It starts on Thursday and will go on for 3 days. Wim will also give a presentation about his API, or about the i.materialise API at the 3D print show. He'll be at our booth as well. So if you're there, if you have questions, don't hesitate to stop Wim and ask him everything about it. So I think this is it for now. Wim, do you have something to add?
Not really. Yeah, if you're going to the 3D print show, I'll be giving pretty much the same presentation, so you don't have to attend those presentations. Just come straight to the booth then.
Yeah, just if you have a project going on and you need some advice about it, Wim is the person to talk to. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining this hangout, especially Wim for doing such a good preparation. And yeah, if you still have questions, we're always here to answer all of them. So I hope to see you in the next hangout, and good luck with all your projects. Bye. I think Wim is going to say bye as well.
Am I? All right. All right. Bye bye. See you in the mailbox, let's say.
Bye.